Ratchet and Clank people. All right, so I'm just gonna say, get this fucking game. Get this fucking game. You know, if you are a fan of the franchise, you know you're gonna love it. If you're a newcomer, you're gonna love it because this thing is an actual PS5 exclusive that takes advantage of the hardware. You know, the main thing about this game is the rifting. You know, it's like a rift thing. So you basically go through all these dimension stuff, but it's really the SSD doing the hard work. So you're literally loading through worlds in real time, and it's flawless, seamless, you know. But you could also do it within the levels themselves. You could like tether yourself to a dimensional rift, just go right through it, just switch around and stuff. The graphics obviously look crazy, and yes, they have Performance RT, which is my personal favorite because you get the ray tracing. It's not 4K, it's like variable, but unless you're Digital Foundry, you can't even tell the difference, you know. That shit is dope. There are a lot of really cool worlds. The combat is almost exactly the same as it was in the other games. No difference whatsoever. Same crazy amount of guns as before. But I love how they take the rift mechanic and just seamlessly blend it in there. So it just becomes another means of traversing. Did I freeze up again?
No, let him talk. Let him talk. He can.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep talking because I don't want to fuck this up for the whatchamacallit, for the clip. You know, because it's fine on my end. But yeah, so. All that is good. The story, cool thing is, you guys hear me now, by the way?
Yes.
Sorry. Because remember, on my end, everything's fine. So I was like, let me just keep talking. The big kind of thing about this game is we introduce a new character called Rivet. She plays exactly like Ratchet. So if you were worried about that, don't worry. It's exactly the same. And as a matter of fact, whatever weapons you buy for her go to Ratchet and vice versa. So everything's flawless, seamless. There is another new character, but I don't want to tell you about that. But they all blend in very well. And what I love about this game, and this is a thing with Insomniac in general, I love how it iterates on what's come before, right? I'm going to take it back. When I played Sunset Overdrive for the first time, I was like, yeah, this is like Ratchet and Clank just on steroids, right? Played Spider-Man, I'm like, oh, this is like Sunset Overdrive, just more refined, right? And now I'm playing this, I'm like, oh, this is like Spider-Man and Sunset Overdrive, just with Ratchet and Clank, you know? So it's cool how all that, you know, the studio's expertise just keeps evolving, you know. And of course, you know, you have the crazy kind of weaponry that you have in a Ratchet and Clank game, but the weapon wheel is a little bit more kind of like Spider-Man, you know what I'm saying? By the way, the music is very Spider-Man-ish, you know. It's like you know, that you know,
dramatic.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. And I'm gonna say this right now, I know some people don't like to hear this shit. Yo, when you play this, because I played this at 30 frames a second for the first week because the patch wasn't available yet. So it was 4K 30. That shit looked like a fucking movie. It straight up looked like a movie. You know, it's crazy. I know a lot of people keep saying like this looks like a Pixar movie. I agree with that, but it's funny because that has been said about the series since the PS3 days. But it goes to show you how good it looks. You know, as a matter of fact, some people did some comparison shots. Some of this game looks better than the actual CG movie that came out in 2016. You know, which is like nuts. You know, and there's a lot of moments, and you saw this in the stream I did today, where I had to stop. I'm like, okay, you motherfuckers are just showing off right now, bro. You guys are just showing off. You know, the one part that got me specifically was I'm walking up the side of a building with the magnet boots. It's raining, and you see the rain coming right at you. There's fucking neon. There's lights splattering everywhere. I'm like, all right, you motherfuckers just showing off right now. You know, so yeah, the game is fucking dope. You got a PS5, you need to get this because sadly, this is the last PS5 game you're gonna get for a long time. You know, as far as exclusives go, this is it. This is the last one until who the fuck knows. You know, there's a couple other things I'll probably bring up if you guys have any questions for me. But Ratchet and Clank is the truth, man. I'm gonna go back to my second playthrough. Oh, I'm gonna say this. You know, I gotta boast. You know, your boy has to boast, man. Unless somebody could prove me otherwise, I believe I'm the first person on Earth to have gotten the platinum in this game. I think
trophies have timestamps.
Yeah, they do have timestamps. I got the platinum on May 29th at 2:45 a.m. Right, and I want to give a shout out to my man Hunter. We were helping each other out with the trophies because you could find all the collectibles. You get this thing like that shows you all the collectibles on the map eventually, but there's these fucking bears they're just not on the map, right? So we were helping each other out of shit. So I know for a fact I got that platinum an hour before he did, you know? There might be some dude in fucking Singapore that got this shit before me. Please hit me up, you know? But as far as I know, I think I'm the first one, which is fucking crazy. You know, so I'm loving the game, man. You're getting in 2023 with your PlayStation 5 Slim, Mighty. You're crazy. So yeah, do you have any questions you guys want to throw at me?
I do have a question.
Yes, what's up?
So I remember we had this discussion with Spider-Man,
Yes.
and you said you preferred the 30 frames per second because it's more cinematic.
It's not that I preferred. It's just 60 felt weird to me with Spider-Man. You know.
So I'm curious, how do you feel about the performance RT mode as opposed to the fidelity mode that you had in terms of that type of feeling when you play the game?
Yeah, you know what it is, and I'm glad you bring this up because I had the same feeling when I played Mass Effect and a little bit of Final Fantasy Intergrade. I'm used to 60 frames now. Now it doesn't look weird to me anymore because I've been playing nothing but 60 frames on PS5 since launch. So when I played 30, it was just like, oh, that's weird. That threw me off, a little bit. But then when it felt more cinematic, it was fine. But no, that didn't throw me off at all now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm used to it, Carlos. I'm used to 60 frames now. Thanks to the PS5. I know the PC guy's gonna be, you motherfucking bullshit asshole, man. We got 120 frames on our shit. You're a fucking peasant. But listen, man.
I don't know about Brian.
Yeah, no, man. I love Brian, man.
Brian doesn't do that.
He doesn't do that.
To be fair, I did play the OG Tomb Raider remake at 60 frames per second, and that came out on the PS3.
Yeah.
So let that just sink in for a while.
There you go. Well, here's the thing about 60 frames. That shit's been around forever. We were playing Virtua Fighter 2 with 60 frames a second, so that ain't nothing new. But, with the PS3 era, that shit just went away. Because even PS2 games had 60 frames a second, right? A lot of them did. Then that shit just went away for PS3 for the most part. So, yeah, Carlos, it didn't really throw me off. Like, I'm going to say this. I was a little disappointed when I went to 60 frames. I expected, like, oh, my fucking God. I was like, oh, this is nice, So, because I'm just so used to it now. But I suggest that's the mode everybody plays because it still has that movie feel to it, because just the animations and the voice acting and all that. By the way, shout out to Jennifer Hale. I didn't realize she was Rivet, Commander Shepard. Which is pretty fucking dope.
Or EE from Metal Gear Solid 2, or Naomi Hunter.
Yeah, Naomi Hunter. Yeah, so there you go, man.
She's kind of like the female voice.
Yeah.
Of video games. So I'm kind of like the opposite of Tony. I am not surprised. It's like, oh yeah, it's her.
No, Brian. Here's the thing.
Yeah, the voice by Nolan North. Like, oh yeah, it's him.
Actually, Brian, I'm going to push back a little bit against that. She used to be that. Now it's what's her face who's the Nolan North. I'm forgetting her fucking
Ashley
name.
Birch?
Not Ashley Birch, the other one. She was Nadine in Uncharted. And everybody was mad because she's a white girl,
Yeah.
Her.
Yeah, her.
She's the Nolan North of character. But Jennifer Hill was that for a while. I will give you that, Laura Bailey, that's the name.
Oh yeah.
Laura Bailey's the Nolan North of female voice actors.
She's what's her face from Nier, so yeah.
I'll be honest, I just assumed it was Laura Bailey. That was Rivet. I just assumed it was her, Any other questions?
Yes. So I was watching shout out to Young he had a review for the game, and he was talking about it having other levels, and like he specifically talked about not wanting to give anything away.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, and I want to ask you, like, is there a reason why he's saying that? Like, is it something that's like, oh, you have to see it like when you see it, or is it like, no, that's just new levels?
Oh no, listen, it's just like they just don't want you to spoil later shit. That's all it is.
Okay.
Yeah, it's nothing like, oh my God, this is gonna change. Listen, this is not gonna change the world of Ratchet and Clank. Other than Rivet and another character is gonna be in there from now on. If Rivet doesn't come back, I'll be very surprised. Just the way she was integrated in there in this other character. Now I'm being a little bit more open about it because I purposely didn't even say any other characters. There's another character in there. Important character too. All I'm going to say is, listen, you got a female Lombax in there. You got a female other, But yeah, so it's nothing like that, Carlos, if that's what you're wondering, By the way, I'll say this about, I will say some boss battles are a little bit samey since it's the same type of enemy, but the unique boss battles, fucking crazy, especially the last one, Like, you got to use all your weapons on this motherfucker. I got killed a few times, Go ahead. who's asking me stuff.
Oh, I was about to say, is it what I think it is? And I'll ask after the show.
Yes.
So that's okay. My question is, how much of the game is split up between the two? Well, okay, that kind of okay. How much of the game is Ratchet and how much is Rivet? Is like an even split, or is it like more one than the other?
Yeah, it's pretty even. Here's the thing. In the post game, because there's 9 levels available. 9 levels. There are more Rivet levels, but if you play the game, because the way the narrative goes, it's pretty split. I was surprised. I believe Rivet was going to get more screen time, but no, it's actually pretty even. And there are certain levels where you will play as it'll cut back and forth between the characters. Where I'm like, oh, this is cool, because when you first start off, it's rigid one character or one level, and that's it, right? But then with the narrative, then it starts splitting them up and stuff, And there's other little combinations which I can't say on air right now. So yeah, it's pretty even for the most part, narratively, Brian.
Cool. And the only other question that I have, which is kind of a nod to someone else's, when you first seen Rivet, did you feel some type of way?
No. So.
Oh yeah, I know what Brian's talking about.
I actually don't know. Oh wait, no, I do know what you're talking about. Unfortunately, no, I don't feel that way because I'm not of that inclination. Actually, I'm gonna say I'm not a fucking furry. I'm not into that stuff. Come on, bro. Disgusting bastards! What the hell's wrong with you? But yeah, game's dope. Get the shit. I'm looking forward to playing it again, man, because it is a lot of fun. And that's the thing. And I said this too. A little bit of controversy I caused on Twitter when don't I, right? I said that Insomniac Games, in my opinion, is Sony's best studio, hands down. Right? Motherfuckers didn't like that. Which contingent of Sony fans didn't like that.
The Last of Us.
The Last
Naughty
of Us.
Dog
Yeah,
fans.
the Naughty Dog guys did not like that, man. Here's the thing about Naughty Dog. Great fucking studio. I'm not taking nothing away from them. But Insomniac, they make games that are crowd pleasers, right? Last of Us, like, bro, I'm not trying to play this depressing ass game during a pandemic. I want to have fun, And that's what Ratchet Clank gives me. But again, because you get the top-notch visuals. I didn't even talk about the fucking audio in this game, man. It's nuts. Like when you got your headphones on with the 3D audio, it just comes at you in every direction, but it's all very clear. The haptic controls. Oh, got the controller right here. Brian, another game that does it in subtle ways. Not just bombarding you with shit. Which is really cool. And I like how certain weapons, they make different sounds that come out of the speaker, which is a lot of fun. So yeah, the haptics are really good, very subtle. I still think Returnal does the controls, the haptics better just because there's more variety to the haptics, but they do it really well in Ratchet. Again, the sound is dope. Everything's just fucking top notch. Like you could tell these motherfuckers threw money at this game, And I find out, if this is relevant to you, you will appreciate this more. Apparently, no crunch happened during this game, which is kind of interesting.
Well, as I remember, they had a pretty good they developed the last Ratchet game relatively quickly too.
Yeah,
without
they did.
any sort of hitches.
Yeah, the 2016 game. That was the last Ratchet game, but like this one is narratively a sequel to Into the Nexus, which came out in 2013. And for me, it was cool. I'm like, oh shit, we're picking up where we left off. But at the same time, they do it in such a way where if you're a newcomer, they catch you up to speed pretty quickly. Like when I was doing the stream, remember, Manny, like they're showing you like, hey, these are all the worlds you got to visit before. Just kind of easing you in there, And it shows like, hey, these guys are galactic heroes. But for me, I'm like, oh shit, we're just right back where we left off. This is cool. The puzzles in this game are really good. I like the puzzles better in Crack in Time, but I like them. They're kind of brain twisty, but not too annoying. Just like Spider-Man, you have the option of skipping them, but I didn't. I'm like, just play the puzzles, man. It's fun, Also, photo mode exactly like Spider-Man. Even the menus are exactly like Spider-Man. There's like no difference.
Yeah, the pause menu looks exactly like Miles Morales or the Spider-Man game.
Yeah. So yeah, if you like Ratchet Clank, Miles Morales, Spider-Man, pick this shit up. It's dope. That's gonna do it, man. Another interesting show.